Coffee, Cake, and Camo would not be possible without the support of our awesome partners. Thank you, Bryant and Stratton College and Cox Communications, for being a force behind the forces. Hey everybody, I'm Erica.
And I'm Chelsea.
And welcome to Coffee, Cake, and Camo. Coffee, Cake, and Camo is a weekly podcast brought to you by the USO of Hampton Roads and Central Virginia.
And each week we plan to explore a military topic, from the haircut challenge you've seen on social media to PCSing and everything in between.
Before we get started, we want to take a second to thank some of our USO RCV sponsors. And without their support, we couldn't bring you this podcast or work to fulfill the USO mission. So a special thank you to Cox Communications and Bryant and Stratton College. Thank you for always willing to support our local USO and our local military.
And just in case any of our listeners are new to the USO, the mission of the USO is to strengthen America's military service members by keeping them connected to family, home, and country throughout their service to the nation.
Today, we're going to start things off by chatting about something good that's happened to us recently. So, Chelsea, what's something good that has happened to you this past week?
So I have to be honest, Erica, last week was a bit of a rough one for me. I think during this quarantine, we all have good and bad weeks. And last week really hit me hard. I found myself becoming extremely frustrated by everyone and everything. And I was just watching the clock, hoping it would be late enough that I could just go to sleep and get the day over with. But on the positive side, I did have a really nice Mother's Day with my family. And so far, this week is turning out to be amazing. So those are the only positives I can give you. How about you, Erica?
Well, I'm happy that you're having a good week. And, despite the fact that we're kind of celebrating holidays a lot differently this year, I'm happy that you still had a great Mother's Day. So that makes me happy. Mm-hmm. Something good. Well, I did recently, I had to stop by our Norfolk Naval Station Center. And as you know, our office is there as well. I just had to pick up like a few things from the office so that I could kind of work better at home. Our listeners don't know this, but we do like to kind of keep incense in our office to set the mood, to make sure that we aren't stressed out at work and all that good stuff. So I was able to bring some of that at home. But also, Chelsea has a office plant, and not gonna lie, I wasn't looking too hot, so I was able to water it. And I don't have a green thumb, so I hope that helps. But I did my good deed.
You are an angel, Erica. I don't know what it is about me, but I am just a plant murderer. I promise you, I have been watering it a little. I'm not as much as I should have, but you're awesome. Thank you so much for doing that. And I also really miss our incense in our office.
Mm-hmm. And just the fact that we can, hang out with our team
in
general, and hanging out with the service members too. But I did what I could. So
we'll be back to normal soon enough, I think so. But that's great to hear, Erica.
Yeah, of course. And we're going to change things up a little bit this episode. We're actually going to start off with our special guest of the week.
Yes, and we are so excited today to have our local USO Pathfinder site manager, Kenny Miller, with us. Welcome, Kenny.
Hi, guys.
Kenny.
It's great to see you, too.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It has been a long time. I can tell from your beard. You got that quarantine beard game. It's strong.
I do. I figured I'd try something new while I'm at home.
It works for you.
Thank you.
All right, Kenny. So let's get started. Can you tell our listeners what the USO Pathfinder Program is and what you do for our local military population?
Sure, Chelsea. So the USO Pathfinder Program, what we do is provide a concierge approach towards military transition. And this is for both the service members as well as the military spouse. For the service members, we begin providing that support 1 year prior to their transition or retirement. And then we continue to provide that continuity of care up to 1 year after that transition or retirement. For the military spouse, it's at any given point in time during a service member's career, because that military spouse is the one that's actually having to transition several times throughout their spouse's career. They're the ones that are having to pick up their lives and kind of reestablish them every time they go to a new duty station. We take a concierge approach, so each of our clients is assigned a scout. That scout takes the time to find out who that individual is, where their concerns lie, and what resources they need in order for them to accomplish their goals and to address those concerns that they might have with their particular transition. What we do is help them navigate through all those resources that are actually available out there. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the statistic, but there's actually, just on the nonprofit side of the house, there's over 36,000 nonprofits that are registered with the IRS that have a mission of supporting military service members, and military families. So just navigating on the nonprofit side of the house, finding which resources you need, who does what, that almost becomes overwhelming for an individual. It becomes almost a full-time job, and that's just on the nonprofit. That doesn't count the for-profit and individuals that are out there to help. There's no lack of resources, but finding the ones that are going to be most appropriate for you is where that difficulty actually comes from. So what we do, that individual scout working with that client, they're going to help them navigate through everything, find the ones that are going to be the best in class, which ones are going to be most appropriate and most effective in order for an individual that's using our services to be able to accomplish the goals that they have or address those concerns that they may have. We put this all into a nice clean package. It's called an action plan. This is uploaded into the USO app. So if a person has the USO app on their phone, they essentially have their action plan available to them at any point in time. They can look at it, see what's next on the list for them to accomplish, or who do they need to connect with in order to accomplish those needs that they have. We take that transition as a holistic, from a holistic perspective. We want to make sure that everything's being addressed, whether it's connecting them with an employment opportunity or for educational requirements, if they have a family wellness issue, if they want volunteer opportunities, if they have a VA benefit that they need more information about, or they need to file a VA medical claim, if they need some support from a financial planning standpoint prior to a transition, if they need legal assistance getting their wills or their power of attorneys completed before a transition. We have all those connections available to us, and we can point them in the right direction and the right people that are going to help them get those things accomplished prior to those transition dates. The other advantage that we have is that we have 20 Pathfinder sites across the nation. So a person can start that process, for example, here in Hampton Roads, and if they have no intention of staying in this area or they're going to be transferred to a different location, we'll do is do a warm handoff of their case to a Pathfinder site that's closest to the area that they're actually going to be residing in ultimately. That new scout in that area is going to be better connected with the state, federal, and local resources in and around that area. But there's that continuity of care, that warm handoff of from one scout to another of that client, and that client will be introduced to that new scout. So we want to maintain that concierge approach, that one-on-one, and keep that client in their comfort zone and know that we are there to leverage and to support them throughout the process. So we love working with our clients, and I think that does separate us from other organizations and other resources that are available as we take that holistic approach and that continuity of care. It doesn't just end on day one of a transition. We continue to provide that up to 1 year after. So even if a person realizes 2 months after retirement or separation from a military, they can reach back to their scout if they didn't get something done, or they have a concern, or they have an additional need. They can still leverage our support, and we'll be there to support them through the long haul.
That sounds fantastic, Kenny. And I love what you said about a really holistic and just an individualized plan. So really no situation, no service member, no military family is the same or is alike. So I love that approach, and just the fact that, wherever a service member is, like in their career or just a physical location, they can always count on Pathfinder. But especially I can imagine now with the COVID-19 pandemic, are you guys actually working virtually?
We are actually. We just passed the 2-month mark that we've been working in a virtual environment. Of course, we like sitting across from a table and getting to know our clients on a one-on-one personal basis, but we've readjusted, and we're certainly using all those virtual resources that are available, whether it's FaceTime, Zoom meetings, Teams, or any other, even a phone call. We're connecting with our clients, our current clients, as well as new registrants. We're there to support. Things that did not cease are transitions. There have been some delays with people actually moving or PCSing, and then also these offerings of extensions onto their service obligation that people are taking advantage of just because they don't want to transition in the current state as far as the job market, etc. But there are still people that are transitioning, and we are there to continue providing that support that they need, especially for the military spouses. Some may have had civilian employment, and so many people were furloughed or let go as businesses closed. So coming to us and leveraging the support that we provide to reconnect them with new opportunities is something that they can take advantage of, and that we can help them through this whole process and get them connected. The other thing that we're offering is virtual workshops, and those are actually, they've increased as far as the collaboration amongst all the Pathfinder sites that I mentioned. Before, we were doing in-person, what they call lunch and learn workshops that covered different areas or different topics of a transition. But now, with all of us working in a virtual environment, we're actually collaborating and sharing the various workshops that we're coordinating and hosting with the various guest speakers and presenters. So almost daily, there is something available for a service member or a military spouse to take advantage of and to learn something more about in preparation for that transition. So yes, we are very much working in a virtual environment and flourishing in it, actually.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm so happy to hear that even though you can't be together face to face with service members and spouses, Pathfinder's still able to assist them. And Erica and I know firsthand from working with you and your team just how vital that is to the military community. So can you share with us how someone can get started with Pathfinder?
Sure. So if you log on to uso.org, there is a Pathfinder submenu. If you want to go directly to the Pathfinder registration link, it's uso.org/Pathfinder, and that will take you directly to the registration page. And that individual can pick and choose what Pathfinder site they want to be connected with. If they're local here in Hampton Roads, they just pick the Pathfinder Hampton Roads site. If they're at a different location and they're tuning into your podcast, I certainly encourage them to find the Pathfinder site that's closest to the area that they are actually tuning into, and they will be contacted by the Gaining Scout within 24 business hours. So if they do register on a Friday afternoon, they probably won't get contacted until Monday, but if it's any point in time during the course of the week, they'll be contacted by their Gaining Scout fairly quickly, and they can begin that process of putting together the action plan and be connected to the resources that they need in order for them to obtain the success that they want.
Fantastic. Earlier, you had also mentioned some virtual events upcoming. So would you like to share some of them while we're on the call?
Sure. Yeah, no problem. So we actually have several things that are coming up on both the professional side of the house, but then also more of the social networking side of the house. So our upcoming professional type of events that we are either hosting or that we're sharing with our clients there's several virtual career fairs. So if you've participated in a career fair, typically these are held in a big auditorium or a convention center, that type of thing, and the hiring scouts and recruiters come from the various companies and they set up their booths, etc. Well, all this is shifted over to a virtual career fair type of situation. So now people can actually log into a virtual career fair and they go into sub rooms within those meeting areas, and they can have that one-on-one conversation with those recruiters and hiring scouts from these various companies. Many of these career fairs used to be more solely focused on a regional type of hiring area. What we're seeing now is these virtual career fairs are being nationwide, or being offered at a nationwide level. So you have companies that have locations or offices and positions that are available nationwide. So even if the career fair is being hosted here locally in Hampton Roads, you'll find a lot of national companies that are participating in those and that they're hiring to nationwide positions. So I certainly encourage anybody that is in the market for a career to take advantage of these virtual career fairs and some of the workshops that we're holding in order to be successful in these career fairs, because there are some nuances amongst the different organizations that are hosting these, as well as some preparation that needs to be done in order to be successful when you log in and participate in one of these virtual career fairs. But we've got a corporate gray one on the 28th. Wells Fargo is also holding one. Wells Fargo is an incredible supporter of transitioning service members as well as military spouses. They have a whole training route or path that a service member or military spouse can take that gets them trained up in various positions that Wells Fargo hires to, and then guarantees employment at the end of that training career, or that training path and training program that they offer. So certainly something, if you have an interest in finance and banking, to take advantage of and leverage if they do have that interest. The other virtual career fair that's being offered is through another one of the major presenters of these virtual fairs, and that's Recruit Military. They have one on the 27th. And then from an education standpoint, we are hosting a workshop on the 21st, and this is the DoD Skill Bridge and also the Onward to Opportunity Skill Bridge program that's going to be covered during this workshop. So our presenters are going to talk about the DoD Skill Bridge, which is a program that's offered through all the services and allows a service member 6 months prior to transition to take part in an internship type of program at a civilian company. This gives them practical experience during that time that they're participating and allows them to essentially be able to populate their resume upon transition with practical experience in the civilian sector. And oftentimes these internships can lead to direct employment by that company that they're doing the internship with. But most importantly, it is giving them that practical civilian experience and exposing them to how a civilian company and business operates. So they're not completely in the dark upon day one of their actual transition date. That is on the 21st if you want to be able to participate in that. The other presenter on that one is the Onward to Opportunity program. The Onward to Opportunity program is part of the DoD Skill Bridge. It's one of those options that you can participate in. The Onward to Opportunity offers a training and then ultimately an online certification examination that you can take in various areas, and that's whether you're going to be taking an IT career path. They have all different levels of IT experience that they will pay for your certification exam after you do the online training. There's the PMP training track, there's the HR training track, there's retail management training tracks, and several others that they offer. And that's for both the military spouse, the service members, as well as veterans that can all participate in that one. So I certainly encourage you, if you want to improve your professional profile and receive some of those certifications that are going to make you more marketable, participate in those programs that are offered, and you can learn more about that during that workshop that we're offering. Another one that we're doing is, and this is being offered on a monthly basis, then this is coordinated through the USO Inc., is Mastering LinkedIn. This online training is given by a man named Michael Quinn. He's a retired Army, and essentially he has mastered how to use LinkedIn and make it effective in regards to creating a brand for yourself and getting the word out about who you are and having a profile that's going to get noticed by companies that are hiring. So I certainly encourage anybody that is going back in or currently looking to enter the professional career, their professional career, to dial into one of these workshops that's offered and learn really how to use LinkedIn effectively in that job search. And then lastly, our social networking type of events that we host are your Discovering Your Spouse virtual workshop, which is on May 18th, and then the one that we host locally, the Hampton Roads Pathfinder site, is the virtual our coffee connections. Once again, we love to do these in person, but in the current environment, we still like to get our military spouses together and just have a morning of coffee and discussion and allow them to network and socialize with each other. We usually start these off with a guest speaker, but this month is actually Military Spouse Recognition Month, so this one is kind of special. So the first 20 registrants, actually, there's going to be a special thing that we do for them. We have some gifts that we're going to be putting together, and we will deliver. My team and I are going to deliver those and put those on the front steps of the first 20 registrants. So I certainly encourage anybody that's interested to get registered. Now, all these events are being listed on a weekly basis through the HRCV USO HRCV newsletter. So if you want more information on how to register, certainly take a look at that newsletter and get yourself registered. And we'll certainly, if you're one of those 20 people, we'll be dropping our little special gift off at your house. But that's about it for this month.
Oh, well, I have to say, Kenny, my own brother went through the Pathfinder program when he was transitioning out of the Coast Guard, and seeing the relief that he felt having a scout with him every single step of the way meant the world. So this program really is incredible. These events are incredible, and we're just very proud to have it in our arsenal of life-changing USO programs. So Kenny, we appreciate you taking the time to share with us today on Coffee, Cake, and Camo. If we have any listeners with questions, where can they find more information on Pathfinder?
Well, if they want to get online, it's uso.org, and there is a sub-menu for the Pathfinder program. But if they want to go directly to the registration link, it's uso.org/Pathfinder. That's uso.org/PATHFINDER. And certainly, if you get yourself registered, you will be connected and communicating with your scout within a day. So we look forward to hopefully getting some new registrants and that we can begin working with them.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Kenny, for joining us and just telling us all about the awesome Pathfinder program. And hopefully, it won't be too long before our teens can finally, get together at the office again and have like a company potluck like we always have.
I love that idea. Yeah, thank you very much for the invite. I know my team and I really appreciate you guys continuing to support us and getting the word out about all the offerings that we have and opportunities that people can take advantage of.
Thanks, Kenny.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Alrighty, Erica. Did you know that there are 30.7 million small businesses in the U.S.?
I actually didn't know that. That's as big as some countries, so that's amazing.
It's massive. And with so much uncertainty and worrying still going on, I can't tell you how much happiness I feel when I can call up my favorite local restaurant and order one of my favorite dishes. It just feels really good to support these businesses right now.
Yeah, that's all it takes is a good meal these days, which is awesome.
Right now, yeah. And it's so sad to see and read about some of the smaller businesses closing and not reopening once this pandemic clears. So for me, picking up a vegan burrito and chips with homemade spicy guacamole from Luna Maya in Norfolk's Ghent neighborhood really makes me smile. It's just a huge win in my book.
Oh, that sounds awesome. And the vegan options, I mean, Luna Maya has a ton of vegan options, so good for them.
In my humble opinion, they are the best Mexican restaurant in town. And if they closed, even if it was just for a little bit, all I would crave is their food. But thankfully, they've been open throughout this time. They are one of the lucky ones for sure. So what about you, Erica? What's your favorite local spot?
I love eating at local restaurants and just supporting like local business and stuff. But as far as like restaurants go, I'd have to give it to My Mama's Kitchen on Shore Drive. Well, not my actual mom's kitchen, but the name of the restaurant is My Mama's Kitchen on Shore Drive. And I mean, not only are their portions huge, like you really get a bang for your buck, but my favorite menu item are definitely their wings, and everything is really homemade. You can tell they really take pride in all the food that they make. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's
I don't
awesome.
think they have a lot of like vegan options. So hopefully the next time I visit them, I'll mention that.
No worries there. Hey, there's plenty of vegan options. And I've never heard of My Mama's Kitchen, but now, yeah, you kind of make me want to go try it. I'm sure I could find something.
hmm
Yeah.
But speaking of vegan, I do know that we both love ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And ice cream will probably make a lot of people's day during this
Yeah.
pandemic. So on Shore Drive as well is a Blue Cow ice cream, and a few of their flavors are actually vegan. Mhm.
Amazing.
And it tastes just the same as regular ice cream because I've tried it. So I don't know if you probably want to check that place out. I would really encourage it.
Oh, you better believe I'm checking that place out, especially now with what's going on with this quarantine. We all need a little pick me up, and ice cream always does the trick.
It always
Yeah.
does for me, at least. Yeah.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for sharing some of those options with us, Erica. And we just want to say a huge thank you to all the small businesses out there who are making this situation less stressful for many of us. Everything from catering meals to feeding those frontline workers. Y'all are definitely the local heroes for the rest of us.
And whether it's a restaurant, a state park, or a beach, let us know what your favorite local spot is by using the hashtag coffee, cake, and camo. And by the way, if you do stop by My Mama's Kitchen, just let me know how awesome their chicken sandwich is. like hashtag that and just say Erica was right. Their chicken sandwich is awesome.
I believe you, Erica. I hope people can prove you right. All right. So, in other local news, Erica, did you see the VA flyover that was put on by the F-22 Raptor demo team out of Joint Base Langley Eustis and the Air Force Heritage Flight Foundation?
I did actually. I was able to watch it from my house on Tuesday night, and it was pretty impressive, I have to say.
I was able to watch it too. You're right. It was quite a striking sight, that's for sure.
I was actually getting ready to log on to Trivia Tuesday night that the USO HRCV has and they put together. But then I realized that they were supposed to be flying over, so I had to make sure to head outside and that I didn't miss it. But do you know how far they flew, Chelsea?
So I checked out the Facebook post before it happened, and they were scheduled to fly over Richmond and Williamsburg, come down the peninsula, fly over Norfolk, and they finished with Virginia Beach. But what's interesting to note is that they traveled all that distance in just 30 minutes.
Wow. Well, as you know, with us, we often travel to Richmond, like and Central Virginia for work. Now that we live in the Hampton Roads, so I wish that our commute was that short too.
Oh my gosh, a girl can dream.
Yeah. But anyways, it was an awesome sight. Well, I think that's all the time that we have today for Coffee, Cake, and Camo, but be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for the handle USO HRCV, and don't forget to share with us your favorite local spots by using the hashtag Coffee, Cake, and Camo.
And one more special thank you to our amazing sponsors, Cox Communications and Bryant and Stratton College.
We also want to give a quick shout out as well to Kenny and all of the USO Pathfinder team. Thanks again, Kenny, and just to share all of the great resources that Pathfinder gives. Once again, I'm Erica.
I'm Chelsea.
And stay connected and classy, HRCV.
For more information on USO Pathfinder programs and events, visit uso.org/Pathfinder.